From a skinny kid doing keepy-uppies on the streets of São Paulo to becoming the world's most expensive player, Neymar Jr. has reinvented himself more times than a pop star. But here's the thing. Each version of Neymar tells a different story. Some were magical, some were controversial, and some, well, let's just say they broke the internet for all the wrong reasons. Today, we're breaking down every single era of Neymar's career, from the wonder kid who had everyone's jaws on the floor to the player whose legacy is still being written. Let's get into it. Santos Neymar the Prodigy, 2009 to 2013. This is where the legend begins. Picture this. A 17-year-old kid with a mohawk, wearing the number 7, absolutely terrorizing Brazilian defenses. This wasn't just any prospect. This was once-in-a-generation talent. Santos Neymar was pure joy. No pressure from Europe, no transfer sagas, just a kid doing the impossible every single week. He's nutmegging defenders for fun, scoring with no-look finishes, and pulling off skills that shouldn't even be legal. The famous seal dribble goal against Flamengo? That happened during this era. But here's what made Santos Neymar special. He wasn't just skillful, he was devastating. 136 goals in 225 games. A Copa Libertadores title. 3 consecutive Brazilian Player of the Year awards before turning 21. The entire football world was watching. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, everyone wanted him. And the question wasn't if he'd leave Brazil, but when and where. By 2013, that question was answered. Barcelona Neymar, the star in the making, 2013 to 2017. When Neymar arrived at Barcelona for 57 million euros, the pressure was suffocating. He wasn't just replacing anyone, he was joining a team with Lionel Messi, the greatest player of all time. Most players would crumble. Neymar, he thrived. Version 1, The Adapting Student, 2013 to 2014. Year 1 was about learning. Neymar had to adapt his game, become more efficient, play for the team. There were flashes of brilliance, sure, but also moments of frustration. The Brazilian flair sometimes clashed with Barcelona's tactical discipline, but by the end of that season, something clicked. Version 2, MSN, The Untouchable Trio, 2014 to 2017. Then came the transformation. Alongside Messi and Suarez, Neymar became part of the most lethal attacking trio in football history. The MSN era was absurd. The 2014-15 season was perfection. Neymar scored in the Champions League final. Barcelona won the treble. And suddenly, he wasn't just the guy alongside Messi. He was a superstar in his own right. That goal against Bayern Munich where he chipped Manuel Neuer? Cold-blooded. By 2015 to 2016, Neymar was carrying Barcelona through matches when Messi couldn't. The remontada against PSG in 2017, Barcelona's impossible 6-1 comeback, that was Neymar's masterpiece. 2 goals, an assist, and the moment that should have cemented his Barcelona legacy forever. But here's the twist. Right after the greatest comeback in Champions League history, Neymar decided it was time to leave. Why? Because he wanted to step out of Messi's shadow and become the main man. PSG, Neymar, the record breaker, 2017 to 2021, 222 million euros, the most expensive transfer in football history. Neymar to PSG wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. Paris Saint-Germain wanted to win the Champions League, and they thought Neymar was the missing piece. Version 1, The King of Paris, 2017 to 2018. That first season? Electric. Neymar was unstoppable. 28 goals, 16 assists before a foot injury derailed his debut campaign. When healthy, he was the best player in France by a mile. PSG dominated domestically, and everyone believed the Champions League was finally within reach. But then came the pattern that would define his PSG years. Brilliance interrupted by injuries. Version 2, The Injury-Prone Superstar, 2018 to 2020. Metatarsal injuries, ankle problems, rib issues. Year after year, Neymar would dominate, then get injured at the worst possible time. The Champions League knockout rounds? Neymar was watching from the stands in a suit, not on the pitch in his boots. The criticism intensified. Was he partying too much? Not taking his fitness seriously? The Brazilian carnival celebrations during the season became a media firestorm every single year. Version 3, The Redemption Arc, 2019 to 2020. Then came the COVID-delayed 2019 to 2020 Champions League. A healthy Neymar, motivated and focused, dragged PSG to their first ever Champions League final. He was sensational throughout the tournament, the best version of himself since Barcelona. They lost to Bayern Munich 1-0, but Neymar was in tears on that pitch. This wasn't just about a trophy. This was about proving he could lead a team to glory. Almost. Version 4, The Frustrated Star, 2020 to 2023. The following years brought more of the same: injuries, criticism, and the growing realization that his PSG dream might never be fulfilled. When Mbappé became the clear main man at PSG, and then Messi arrived in 2021, Neymar's role shifted again. He was no longer the undisputed star. He was part of another super team, and this time, he wasn't even the second most important player. Al Hilal Neymar. The Saudi Experiment, 2023 to 2025. In August 2023, Neymar made a move that shocked everyone: Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia for 90 million euros. At 31 years old, he left European football for a massive payday and a new challenge. Was this a retirement move, a cash grab, or something else entirely? Here's the reality. Neymar arrived in Saudi Arabia with hopes of proving he still had elite football in his legs. But then, just weeks into his Saudi adventure, disaster struck. An ACL tear while on international duty with Brazil, over a year on the sidelines. When he finally returned, he played just 7 matches in 17 months. 7. The Al Hilal coach openly questioned his fitness. The dream was over. In January 2025, Al Hilal terminated his contract by mutual consent. The Saudi experiment had failed, but Neymar's story wasn't finished. Santos Neymar 2.0, The Homecoming, 2025 to present, and so, the circle completes. Nearly 12 years after leaving Santos for Barcelona, Neymar came home. This isn't the same kid who left Brazil in 2013. This is a 33-year-old legend, carrying the weight of unfulfilled potential and what-ifs. But here's what's beautiful. He chose to come back, not for money, but for love. Santos is not just my team, it's my home, my roots, my history, and my life, Neymar said upon his return. I went, I came back, and I stay. Where it all began, where it's never going to end. Since returning, injuries have continued to plague him. He's played limited minutes. But when he's on the pitch, there are still flashes. 3 goals, 3 assists, and moments that remind you why we fell in love with him in the first place. Santos was relegated in 2023 and just got promoted back. They're fighting to rebuild. And Neymar? He extended his contract through the end of 2025, with his eyes set on one final dream: the 2026 World Cup. This version of Neymar isn't about proving he's the best in the world anymore. It's about redemption, legacy, and finishing his story where it started, at home. So there you have it. Every version of Neymar Jr., from the Santos wonder kid to the prodigal son who came home. Was Neymar the best player of his generation? Not quite. That honor goes to Messi and Ronaldo. But did he have the most talent? A case can absolutely be made. The problem was never ability. It was injuries, timing, and perhaps the weight of expectations that no human could carry. Love him or hate him, Neymar's career has been one of football's most fascinating journeys. And who knows, maybe there's one more version of Neymar still to come. What's your favorite Neymar era? Drop it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more football deep dives. I'll catch you in the next one.